Very good. So, welcome Hayden and Avery. So, in this today's lesson, we will learn and understand a brief history about yoga, the different texts of yoga, and we will understand what yoga brings to all of us, and how to apply yoga in our daily life. Because, are you listening clearly? So, if we do not apply yoga in our daily life, there is no use of practicing yoga. So, you are going to be a listener, then you understand those principles, and then we will see how it will change our life. Clear? You are always welcome to ask any question if you have a doubt. Asking question is very important in the journey of yoga. Why? Why? Asking questions because we study yoga to study ourselves. You study physics, you study science, you study mathematics, you get a skill set that you can use for your job, for your career, for your profession. You see that? Whatever we learn, except yoga, gives you a skill set that you can use for your job, career, and profession. No doubt, even yoga nowadays is a great and noble profession. But most important, why we study yoga? The simple answer: to study myself. Huh? To study myself. What do I study about myself? My nature, my attitude, my behavior, my personality. So when I study, I also find some drawbacks. I find some negativity, isn't it? So then I realize here are these challenges in my attitude, behavior, personality, and yoga helps you to remove them. Did it happen in your life when in the morning, your mom wakes you up and you don't get up? Does it happen? Your mom wants you to wake up and get ready for the school, and you don't wake up. Did it happen? Are you listening? Did it happen?
They're answering. You may not be able to hear them.
Why I'm not able to hear them?
Because they're soft spoken.
They are soft-spoken.
Yell at the top of our voices.
So you see that is the attitude in the mind of being lazy. From where the laziness comes? Can you tell me? Yoga is not simply some demonstrating some postures, even though they are very important. So, from where the laziness comes? To understand little deeper about our own mind, let us understand through a parable, through a story. And that story is all about a monkey who became a monk. Do you remember the story? Let me repeat it. So there was a monkey sitting on a tree watching the gardener picking up the bananas and putting them into a basket. So basket has a very large opening. He was keeping the bananas into the basket, and the monkey was looking at those bananas in the basket sitting at the top of a tree. So every time the gardener went too far from the basket to pick up the bananas, the monkey jumped on the basket, picked up the bananas, and again jumped onto the tree. And it was happening. And the gardener became crazy. What to do? So he thought of a plan. He brought another basket with a narrow opening, very narrow opening. And then he started putting up the bananas into that basket. Then what happened? Now the monkey jumped onto the basket, put his hand into the narrow basket, and he caught at least 5 or 6 bananas. So you see that while putting his hand, the hand was narrow, so it can go inside. Now he is picking up the 5 or 6 bananas. The moment he wants to withdraw his hand from the basket, it could not. And the gardener found it. Gardener took the stick and started thrashing the monkey. And he started crying. You see that we are thinkers. The human being is a thinker, but the monkey is not a thinker to get out of the problem, but he wants to get his hand out of the basket. Started crying, crying and crying, and ultimately, in that moment of crying, he loosened his hands from the bananas and he could withdraw his hand. What he has to do? He jumped again on the tree where the gardener could not reach. So, my master, while narrating this story, he used to say that the monkey became a monk. How he became a monk? Can you tell me? How he became a monk? Our mind is attached, craving for many things in our life, and that mind becomes blind to wisdom, blind to right knowledge. The same thing happened to the monkey. The monkey was too much attached, craving for the bananas. That is why he was caught and thrashed by the gardener. And the moment he left all the bananas, he could take his hand out of the narrow basket and he jumped onto the tree. Does it happen in our life? We are craving and craving for something in our life, and then we suffer. We experience pain, emotional upset, mood swing. But this is how the mind is working on us. Are you understanding? When the mind is working on us, then we are going to suffer. Now, relate this story to in the morning, your mom says, "Honey, wake up, be ready for the school," and your mind is lazy. Are you getting it? Your mom says, "Here I have cooked pasta." "No, mom, I don't like pasta. I hate it." That is the way our mind is working. What yoga teaches us? How to work on the mind. Do you understand the difference between two things? The mind working on you, and you are working on the mind. Do you see the difference? When the mind is working on you, it is impulsive, it is instinctive, it is habitual. When the mind is working on you, then the mind is habitual, instinctive, impulsive. When you are working on the mind is full of knowledge, the right knowledge, so that you can take the right action in your life. Are you understanding? Are you getting it? That is the nature and importance of yoga. I heard another story from my own master that a person worshipped God for many years, and God appeared before him, and he asked that, "Okay, I'm ready to give you a boon. Understand that. Tell me whether the mind is working on him or he was working on the mind." So the first step is good, that he was worshiping God, meditating on God, and the God appeared before him and asked for a boon. So that guy asked a boon: "Whatever I touch should become gold, because I am having a hard time in maintaining my livelihood." The God said, "It will happen. Don't worry. Whatever you touch, it will become a gold." So from the forest, he went to his house. He asked his wife to serve him a food. The food was served. Bread was there. The moment he touched, it became gold. He was thirsty. He touched the glass, became gold. The moment the water touched the lips, it became gold. And out of excitement, he touched his wife. His wife also became gold. Tell me, the mind is working on him or he was working on the mind? Even if you do great things in your life, but if the mind is working on you, it will cause lot of problems, worries, anxiety, duality, conflict, stress, suffering. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? That is the way we should understand yoga. That is the way. It means whatever we study in yoga, we study ourselves, how our mind and the body, emotions and the intellect works in our life. So that leads us to the very important subject. I always say that yoga makes us a good person in our life. You become a good person to yourself. That is the goal of yoga. You don't pose, you don't act that I am a good person for the world outside. You become a good person inside. Are you not good? You are good. But can we become a better person? Are you getting it? The goal of yoga is to make us a good, better, and the best human being. So, first thing to understand, being a good person to myself. When I'm good to myself, I'm good for others also. Is it not true? Is it not true? When I'm good to myself, I'm good to everyone. But if I'm not good to myself, how can I be good to others? Hayden, are you getting it? If I'm not good to myself, how can I be good to others? And the moment I become a good person to myself, I also excel in my personal life, in my professional life, in my social life, at school and at home. Now, according to yoga, we say, now we always talk of human being. So that human being means what? Human is one part and the being is the other part. Yeah, when we say, are we human being? Okay, yeah, we are human beings. So human is one part and the being is the other. The being is at the center, deep inside our heart. That is our real nature. That is our true nature. And the human part is body, mind, breath, intellect, ego, attitude, behavior, personality. Again, I am repeating human being. So, human is the periphery, the circumference of our life. What is that circumference? Body, breath, mind, intellect, ego, thoughts, attitude, behavior, everything that are changing. The human part is always changing. Do you realize our body is changing? Breath is changing, mind is changing, thoughts are changing, attitude is changing, behavior is changing. But there is one thing deeper inside which we do not know yet, that is known as the being, that is known as our real self, that is known as our true nature, that never changes. Are you getting it? So, human being, two part. Outer part is personality, inner part at the center is our true nature. Now you should write down that true nature consists of permanent peace, permanent happiness, permanent infinite love, full of wisdom, truth, and consciousness. So again, I'm repeating so that first five attributes of the real self is there. What is that? Pure consciousness first, truth is second, permanent happiness is third, and love is fourth, and wisdom is the fifth. It is present in every human being on this earth, according to yoga. Are you getting it? Human being. So, being is that real self, true nature. That true nature is a common element present in every human being. The human part is different. You are Avery, you are Hayden, I'm Girish, there is Casey. This is the outer part. The outer level is different. Inner level is one and the same. Clear? Our color, age, nationality, huh, family, everything is different outside, but inside, we all are essentially made up of pure awareness, truth, infinite love, permanent happiness, and knowledge. We all are made up of. So, yoga is the discovery of that real self in us. So, when I said be a good person to yourself, means that I need to discover that true nature by the practice of yoga. When I discover that true nature in my life, then what happens? I become good to myself. And when I'm good to myself, I will excel definitely in my personal, professional, social life. Did you get it? Are you getting it something? Casey is there?
I'm over here on the right hand side of the room, sir.
Okay, okay. So now question comes, what should I do? What are the steps? Yoga. So, yoga is one part of the Eastern wisdom that we will take up little later. But what should we do? Understand. First is, I do not know. Let me know the principles. That is the first step. Second step, I do not understand. So let me understand these principles clearly. So once I understand these principles clearly, then I should practice to experience the change in my life. Are you getting it? Three steps. Where are the three steps? I don't know. Let me know it so I understand these principles. When I understand these principles, then it becomes easy for me to do the right practice at the right time. Are you getting it? You are free to ask any questions. So, the first thing, I do not know. So, that is why we understand the philosophy principles of yoga, and then we ask questions to understand it clearly. No mysticism, no religion, no cult, no dogma, no belief. We understand the principles and we then start the practice to change ourselves so that we can start working on the mind. Did you understand the difference between the mind is working on you and you are working on the mind? You become the master of the mind. So your attitude changes, your behavior changes, your personality undergoes a change, and that reflects you being a good person. From where we started the journey, do you remember? Definitely, we started our journey, mind working on us, or we are working on the mind. Then we went little deeper. We said human being. Just understand it is the human part. Whatever is changing is the human part: body, mind, breath, intellect, ego, thought, attitude, personal. Being is at the center. That being is our real self. So, the very first step to where what is the first step? I don't know. Let me know the principles. Now think of the mind is already wandering here and there. The body is not relaxed. Can you really understand what I teach you? The mind is wandering. You cannot. So, the very first practice, our masters say that, are you relaxed? Is your mind calm? So that you can pay attention, you can raise your awareness to understand these principles. So let us do, which I say, the four-step relaxation. First, let us practice, come out, share of your experiences, then we will continue our journey. So, how you want to do the practice of relaxation? Lying down, yes, it is okay. Sitting, that is also okay. Whatever is comfortable for you. You want to lie down, you can lie down.
You get to lie down if you want to lie down, or you want to sit up.
Or you want to sit up, you can sit up.
Feel free to lie down. You might want to put a bolster under your knees if you like that, Hayden. Some people don't do that yet. Some people like to lie down, some people like to stay up. It's different for everybody. There's a big B if you want a big B.
Yes, so let us lie down and let us do the relaxation practice first before we take up another subject.
Let's see.
Adjust, lie down on your back. Your hands are lying on the hands are placed near the thighs, little far away, and the legs are straight, relaxed. It is better to keep the legs straight, and hands are placed near the thighs on the floor. Or you want to keep some bolster inside your knees, that is also okay. Find out the most comfortable position. So, and it is good if you can keep your hands on the floor. If you cannot keep it, then keep it on the rib cage. But Keep your both the hands away from each other. Do not interlock all the fingers at this moment. Eyes are closed. Check your body parts that you do not find any discomfort and unease in any part of the body. So we prepare ourselves for relaxation. I gave this practice to a clinical therapist today, and she was so happy. And it is only 1% of the practice. So, first thing, take your mind or move your mind on the neck joint. Feel that it is aligned, no unease there, and you experience sensation, comfortable, and steadiness. Move the mind on the shoulder joints. Feel the sensation being comfortable and steadiness. So you see that you are moving the mind on the joints of the body in preparing your that helps you to prepare for a practice of relaxation. It is only a preparatory step. So move the mind on the hip joint, be there, feel sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness, my friends. Then the knees, look at the knees. Understand one point. I'm raising your awareness by this thought. What is that thought? Are you moving the mind on the body or the body? You are moving the body on the mind. Yes, you are moving the mind on the body. So when the mind is wandering, we start moving the body, and that will destroy this practice. So your body is comfortable now. Now comes the first step. And you see how the first step is so simple. Recheck again. Now the body is comfortable. It is not moving. You need not to see anyone. You have to see to yourself first. So the first step is move the mind on the head and the neck, as if the mind is aware, feeling the head and the neck. So, what is your experience? You may feel the sensation and you become aware of the head and the neck. Then, move the mind on the right arm. Be there, feel. What do you feel? Sensation. And you become aware of the right arm. How do you become aware of the right arm? Because you feel the sensation. How simple it is. But you are not moving the body at all. Now move the mind on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and what is your experience, sensation, and awareness? Move the mind on the rib cage, sensation, and awareness. The mind is looking the belly all around. Feel the sensation and become aware. Feel the sensation and what? You become aware. Aware means that you know. You know it. That is what the awareness is. Don't take it in a serious way. No, I have to understand. Move the mind on the right leg. Be there, feel, and experience. What do you experience? Sensation and awareness. Move the mind on the left leg. Feel, be there. Sensation and awareness. You see, it is such a simple practice. I cannot even say simple or easy. It is easier and simpler than these two words. Provided you are ready, you want to do it, you are regular, you are committed. Within, from the first day, it will bring a change. Now we go to the second step. Second step is still easier than the previous one. Looking at the head and the neck, we discover the stillness in the body. We don't force the body to be still. Now, mind it that during this practice, you will experience variety of changes, tingling, numbness, freezing of the body, maybe some color. Don't move. No movement, my friend. If you move, you will miss it. Just recognize and accept those changes. Move the mind on the head and the neck. Just be there. This time you experience sensation and stillness. You're not doing anything. Move the mind on the right arm. You are looking, the right arm is placed as you kept it, and it gives you an experience of sensation and stillness. Did I tell you that you will experience variety of changes, including numbness, tingling, freezing of the body? You need not to worry about it. You are in safe hands. Just remain there, recognize these changes and accept them. Looking at the left arm, being there, feel the sensation in the stillness. Rib cage, you are there on the rib cage, you feel the sensation and you experience the stillness where you experience the stillness. The belly, you are there, sensation in the stillness. Right leg, from the right side of the waist to the toes, you are there feeling sensation and stillness. You know, the mind wants to rush outside. And if you don't allow the mind to rush outside, it will move the body. So now you understand movement of the body is because of the mind wants to remain as a master. That is what we learned. We want to be the master of the mind. The mind says, no, I feel tingling. Tell the mind, thank you. I now noted. That's all, and continue the practice. Move the mind on the left leg. Mentally, you are looking the left leg and you feel the sensation in the stillness. Now, look and feel the entire body from the crown to the toes and experience sensation and stillness. Now, in that state, the mind goes inside and lives inside. No worries. So, what should we do? Look inside the heart. What you are looking inside the heart? What you are looking inside the heart? the space, the emptiness or darkness. The moment you see the darkness or the space inside your heart, say to yourself, I'm in peace. Or you can say the Sanskrit mantra also, Shantoham, but with the understanding. Look inside the forehead in the space. When you see the space, say to yourself, I'm in peace or I'm the peace. One more time, look inside the heart again in the space. And when you see the space, what do you say in your mind? I'm the peace. Finished. Simple. Third step is done. You see how simple it is. And then comes the fourth step. What is the fourth step? Just watching, looking, feeling the breath. What did I say? Looking the breath. Look at the tip of the nose, you will find the breath is going in and the breath is coming out. We know it, but you are aware of the breath, you are conscious of the breath. Breath is going in and out. I could see little movement in the body. To get rid of that, just look at the breath. Do not change the rate in the rhythm of the breath. When the breath is going in, count mentally, drop in your mind in one. When the breath comes out, out one, in two, out two. Go on counting the breath. Now doing nothing. Just do nothing, remain as you are. I will recite a mantra that deepens the practice. So, how it deepens the practice? You are simply listening. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Feel the change. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Means you put your both the hands on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences and bring the hands down. We will share our experiences now. How are you, every?
You might have to either come closer or talk louder to them. Yeah. Good.
Good. I could hear. And how about you, Hayden?
That's good. I feel relaxed.
Relaxed?
Yes.
You fell asleep?
Oh no, of course not.
Of course not. But you feel relaxed? That is really good. Very good. You see how easy the practice is? First, we realize the practice is easy. Then we realize that it can be done easily in 5 to 10 minutes. Then we should have a commitment to do the practice regularly. That will change our responses of the mind. Now, in that state of relaxation and calmness, your mind will easily grasp. So, what our masters, you see that, I learned from my masters for 26 years. My master learned from his master and his master. So, the tradition, that is what we say, the knowledge is passed from one person to the other. That is known as tradition. Knowledge is the same, but they are expressed by every teacher differently. That is what is known as the tradition. In that tradition, if you find one master had many students, those many students become the masters, and all those masters have different students. So from that tradition, there is a branch that comes out, is known as lineage. Lineage is also sometimes known as ancestry. So ancestry in yoga does not depend on the family tree. It depends on qualified students who become masters. Did you understand what is tradition and what is lineage? Now, this yoga is more than 6,000 years old. What did you understand? 6,000 years old. What is the year now? 2020. So we have a dating. It is 2000 years plus 20 years. Go back another 4,000 years old. That old is yoga. Because it is a tradition, it is passed on by one master to the other. So how many masters we have before 2000 years? We have more than 3,000 masters. How many texts we have? We have more than 3,000 texts of yoga, and many texts are available that dates back 2,000 years, 3,000, 4,000. Are you getting it? So there are many practices and many schools of yoga. For example, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, Tantra Yoga, uh, Dhyana Yoga, Nada Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga. So when you bring all different yoga together, it is known as Eastern wisdom. Clear? So Eastern wisdom includes all the types, schools, practices of yoga. Clear? We are going slowly. So before we go further, your mom and dad, and sometime you also order some product from Amazon. And when you open the box, you get a manual, instructions, isn't it? You get an instruction to how to use, how to set up that particular product that you have ordered. Right? Suppose you order a digital watch and it contains the manual of an iPhone. Can you work with that manual? So the manual of every knowledge has to be specific, right? Manual of iPhone will work for iPhone. Manual of Android phone will work for Android phone. Clear? So only the manuals of yoga will work for yoga practices. Manual of physics will work for the physics. So understand that the manuals of the science or the knowledge of the science can definitely work in the field of the science, in the world outside. The manual of yoga means it will work on myself, how to study myself, how to discover my true nature. That is why we have to study these texts. Clear? So, what are these texts? What are these manuals? So, these manuals in the text are grouped or classified into different groups. Now, you can listen to it. I'm recording also the audio so that I can send you the audio file. If you like to listen, then you should listen and understand. So they are classified into different groups of text. So now see, when I say sutra books or sutra text, so there are many sutras there. Means many books which are written in the form of a sutra. Sutra means formulas. Just for the sake of understanding in the beginning. Another group of text is known as Gita. Gita means poetry. Do you know what is H2O? Water. So H2O is a formula. So that formula means the sutra. So many texts are written simply in the form of a sutra, formulas. Clear? Many texts are written in the form of a Gita. Gita means poetry. Many texts are written, they are known as Purana. Purana means the historical text, the yoga in the form of a history, stories. Then there is another group of text which is known as Aranyaka. Aranyaka means what? That many masters, after living a successful family and a professional life, they went to the forest. They meditated. And after meditation, they wrote their experiences. That became Aranyaka text. So I named you. The group of the text is Sutra, group of the text is Gita, group of the text is Purana, group of the text is also the Veda, the group of the text is Aranyaka, and we can add one more. The group of the text is known as Smriti. Clear?
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yes, you can ask the question.
Do the Upanishads fall into the Vedic system?
Yes, and the group of the text is also known as Upanishads. Yes, you are right. You reminded me. Upanishads are also the group of text. So there is not one Upanishad, my friend. There are more than 300 Upanishad texts. So if I put in the order from the oldest to the newest, then how can I say first will come under the group of Veda, four Vedas. Then we can, I have omitted one. Then the second comes the Brahman Grantha, Brahman text. Then comes the Aranyaka text. Then comes the Upanishad. Then comes the Sutras. Then comes, you can say, Gita, Puranas, Smritis. Huh? If I say it is in descending order, Veda, Brahman Granth, Aranyaka, Upanishad, then we can say, sometime we say Purana or the Sutra. Purana and the Sutra, then comes Smriti. So all these texts are, all the 3000 texts are classified into different groups. Clear? I think ask any question. Let me give a break until this. In the next lesson, we will go a little deeper and find out what is Sutra, what is Gita, what is, then there are ancillary group of the text, the Hatha Yoga, Pradipika. What we are going to study briefly, we are going to study Yoga Sutra, written by Patanjali. We will study select verses from Bhagavad Gita, written by Vyasa. We will study Hatha Yoga Pradipika, written by the Master Swatmaram, and Gherand Samhita by Gherand Rishi. We will study Dhammapad by Buddha. And we will also pick up some of the vital principles of yoga from Upanishads and other texts. So, first is the Yoga Sutra we will study. Second is Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Gheranda Samhita. We will also study Dhammapad. We will study Bhagavad Gita and some of the other text, important text. Today's lesson is done. If you have any question, you can ask me.
gather that, okay, Hayden?
Yeah.
So he's giving you a brief history of what yoga really is, and nowhere in there did he say it's a bunch of postures, did he? No, it's about understanding what you really are. And when we use the tools that yoga teaches us, that yoga has been teaching for thousands of years, that masters have been teaching, then we are the masters of our mind, and our mind is not the masters of us. And that's a much happier life to live than when you're living in a place where your mind is in control of you, don't you think? Happens all the time. We don't think about it. We get all caught up by what's on the TV or what's happening with our friends or, what's happening in other parts of the world, even, right? But it takes away from what is real and never leaves us, which is our true nature. So if we always keep on using yoga as tools, and that's when you're lucky enough to have a teacher that has, years, decades of experience learning from other teachers, you start to learn that the tools are not difficult, and that if you learn the tools correctly, you learn from a good teacher, you ask good questions, you learn how to apply them in your life. It's not like you go out and you find happiness. Happiness is already here. So the less you're out there, the more that you're going to realize happiness is there. Like the monkey with the bananas, right? The monkey was suffering in essence, wasn't he? When he couldn't get his hand out of the basket because he's holding the bananas and the farmer's beating him, the monkey's suffering. All of a sudden, the monkey learns that if I let go of the bananas, I can pull my hand out and I can get away from the farmer and I'm not suffering anymore, right?
You are craving for something, and your mom says, "No, I will not get you that product, that thing." What happens? You are suffering.
So that's what yoga is. It teaches
You're
us
asking for banana.
no bananas today. All right, sir. When I go home, I will make sure to look for that email with this document of today's lesson and send it off to the